The arena in Guadalajara, Mexico pulsed with electricity long before the fighters even stepped through the ropes. Thousands of fans packed the building, their voices rising into a thunderous wave of anticipation. Mexican flags waved through the air, drums echoed from the stands, and the name of the hometown hero rolled through the arena like a chant that refused to fade: Canelo, Canelo, Canelo. On this night, the young champion wasn't just defending a belt. He was defending pride, expectation, and the roaring belief of a nation that had already begun to see greatness in him. Across the ring stood a very different kind of fighter. Ryan Spice, Rhodes, the hardened veteran from Sheffield, England, had traveled thousands of miles to challenge the rising star. At 34 years old, Rhodes had spent years grinding through the unforgiving world of professional boxing. He wasn't here for the atmosphere, the chants, or the spectacle. He was here for one thing: the WBC Super Welterweight Championship wrapped around the waist of the young Mexican prodigy. That prodigy was Saul Canelo Alvarez, only 20 years old, yet already undefeated and carrying the calm confidence of a fighter far beyond his years. Weighing in at 153 pounds, Canelo entered the ring with a quiet focus, his eyes locked on the challenge ahead. This was his hometown, his moment, and his stage to prove he belonged among boxing's elite. When the fighters stood in the center of the ring, the contrast between youth and experience could not have been clearer. Rhodes held a slight height advantage and the wisdom of countless rounds in the ring. But Canelo carried youth, speed, and the explosive power that had already begun turning him into a phenomenon. The referee delivered his final instructions. 12 rounds were scheduled. The bell rang, and in an instant, the roar of Guadalajara exploded as the battle began. From the opening exchanges, Canelo Alvarez looked calm, almost relaxed, as if the deafening roar of his hometown crowd only sharpened his focus. The young champion moved with patience, probing with his jab and studying the rhythm of Ryan Rhodes, who immediately began switching stances between orthodox and southpaw. It was a tactic the English veteran had used many times before, a way to disrupt timing and create hesitation in his opponent. But Canelo didn't hesitate. Instead, he adjusted smoothly, inching forward with controlled pressure. A quick combination snapped out, a jab followed by a sharp right hand, and the crowd roared with approval as the punches found their mark. Rhodes remained composed, slipping backward and trying to counter, but Canelo's timing was beginning to take shape. The Mexican champion doubled a shot to the body, digging a hook into Rhodes' ribs before bringing a right uppercut toward the head. The punches were compact but powerful, delivered with the precision of a fighter who understood exactly when to strike. Every clean connection sent a ripple of excitement through the arena. Rhodes attempted to respond with clever movement, occasionally landing a quick counter while circling away from danger. The veteran knew he couldn't simply stand still in front of a young power puncher like Alvarez. Yet each time he tried to create space, Canelo followed, cutting off the ring, forcing Rhodes back toward the ropes. The early rounds became a showcase of Canelo's growing dominance. His jab grew sharper, his combinations more confident. A right hand landed clean over the top, followed by a snapping hook that pushed Rhodes backward again. The crowd could sense it. Their champion was settling into the fight. And with every passing minute, Canelo Alvarez looked more comfortable, more dangerous, and more in control of the night. As the fight moved into the middle rounds, Canelo Alvarez began turning control into punishment. The young champion's strategy became increasingly clear: break the body, drain the veteran, and slowly close the door on any hopes Ryan Rhodes had of stealing the fight. Canelo's left hook started digging deep into Rhodes' ribs, each shot landing with a thudding sound that echoed through the arena. The crowd reacted instantly every time those body punches connected. They knew what those blows meant. Body shots don't always end fights in a single moment, but they steal energy, breath, and willpower one round at a time. Rhodes, to his credit, refused to fold. The veteran fired back whenever opportunities appeared, throwing looping counters and quick combinations in an effort to keep Canelo honest. One punch slipped through and clipped the Mexican champion, drawing a brief cheer from the British corner. But those moments were rare. Most of the time, It was Canelo dictating the pace. A stiff jab snapped Rhodes' head back. Seconds later, Alvarez unleashed a clean combination, right hand over the top followed by a hook that forced Rhodes to retreat again. The young champion looked composed, never rushing, never wasting energy. He was breaking his opponent down piece by piece. Meanwhile, the physical toll on Rhodes was becoming more visible. Swelling began to form beneath his eyes as the rounds piled up. His corner urged him to press forward, reminding him that he might need a knockout to win. But pushing forward against a fighter like Canelo carried its own danger. Because every time Rhodes stepped into range, Alvarez was waiting. And with every heavy shot that landed, the energy inside the Guadalajara arena grew louder. The hometown hero was closing in, and the veteran challenger was running out of answers.